Let's go to the Battle of Yorktown, 1781. That final Battle of Yorktown, in our textbooks, they always show the young general, French general, Marquis de Lafayette, as being a real key to whipping the British, and that's no question about it. He was a real key. And standing right beside him, the pictures they show in the textbooks, is an African-American. Now, the African-American is James Armistead. Nobody ever talks about him. They just think he's holding the horse for, you know, he's a black, he has to be a slave. He's holding the horse for Lafayette, and that's the only reason he's there. No, he's there because those two guys together that brought an end to the American Revolution. Well, how so? Well, James Armistead was a double spy in the American Revolution.
Oh my goodness.
James, a great story. James Armistead, Virginia, he gets General Cornwallis, the British general, convinced that he's an escaped slave. Oh, I'm leaving these terrible Americans. I'm an escaped slave. Please take me in. You kind British, take me in. And so General takes him in. He starts serving the general, waiting on him, serving his table, serving his food. And he hears all the stuff that the British are doing, because Cornwallis is meeting with his generals, and he's getting all this information where the generals are about to move and what they're doing. What's he do? Well, he's feeding it back to Lafayette. He's feeding all this information to Lafayette, who takes it to Washington, and they're moving the army around to get ready for all the British stuff. And then Cornwallis, James Armistead's been so faithful to Cornwallis. Cornwallis says, I have a proposal. Would you be willing to be a spy for the British against the Americans? I mean, since you escaped as a slave from America. And so he ends up being a double spy. So what he does, he's already a spy against the British. Now the British think he's a spy against the Americans, so he's feeding the Americans all the great information. He's feeding the British all the wrong information.
Wow.
They end up getting Cornwallis trapped out on the peninsula at Yorktown, where they had the French Navy on one side, the American Army on the other, nowhere for the British to go, they're trapped. How'd that happen? James Armistead feeding them bad information.
That's awesome.
Do you know that black patriot? Literally, you can say that he probably cut years off the American Revolution.